What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another West New York Wednesday here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today, once again, comes from the Saranac Brewery, and they are under the Matt Brewing umbrella, and they are out of Utica, New York, and this is their Caramel Porter, the 2022 release. So they're calling this one a porter with natural flavor and caramel color. Comes in at 5.4% alcohol by volume, 23 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is approximately 7 weeks old. So this will be the first of 2 West New York Wednesday reviews I will be posting this week. Later on today, you will see a review from the other half Brewing Company. And both of these breweries, while they are not originally from the West New York area, they have a firm place here in the West New York beer scene. They have been, around in the area for many years, and especially Saranac. Saranac is one of those breweries that I kind of grew up with in terms of drinking craft beer and kind of being introduced to craft beer. I always have a special place in my heart for Saranac and this beer specifically because I've been drinking this beer for a good 10, 11 years. I remember back in, I think it was like 2011, 2012, when this used to come in their 12 beers a falling variety pack, which I would usually buy at least 1, if not 2 every year. And then they started releasing this one in 6 packs. And up until maybe like 4 years ago or so, I would at least grab a bottle of this every year. I haven't had this one for, like I said, about 4 years, could be 5, and I wanted to grab it this year. So they have a little spiel here on the side. It says, real caramelized sugar, roasted barley, chocolate, and caramel malts produce a delectable brew that will surely satisfy your sweet tooth. But it's funny that it says with porter with natural flavor and caramel color because it does say real caramelized sugar. So seems like they're using real caramel. They just don't specifically say that when they're talking about what the beer is. So I've always enjoyed this one. It's, not a mind-blowing brew, but it's one that I always enjoyed, especially back, you're talking 10, 11 years ago. You didn't have a bunch of pastry stouts and crazy, adjunct porters and stouts. So when this came out, I was like, oh man, a caramel porter? Sign me up. So let's give it a pour here. My favorite porter from them, however, is their maple porter, which I don't think they've released in it has to be like 8 or 9 years. I'm actually very upset at Saranac that they haven't brought back the maple porter in a long time because that beer, a little cheap, was absolutely delicious. I loved it. Anyway, so yeah, this, it's funny. This kind of pours out. Now, on the camera, it's probably going to be looking maybe pitch black or maybe like a dark, very deep dark red. Yeah, it has a mahogany kind of look to it. It kind of looks like a really deep, wee heavy Scotch ale. That's what it kind of looks like. Can see through it a little bit, but not much. Has about a half finger of this caramel colored head. See if I can swirl up a head here at all. Didn't really pour with one. I didn't pour it all that aggressively. But yeah, a little bit swirl up of a head, maybe to like 3/4 of a finger. But yeah, that looks nice. Does it look like a porter? It's funny because I just reviewed from Fiden's their coffee brown ale, I forget the name of it, Liam and Me with coffee. And that looked like a porter. This is a porter that kind of looks like a brown ale or like I said, a wee heavy or something. It's kind of weird. It's kind of yeah, so that's nice. Definitely caramelized sugars. Yeah, caramel toffee for sure. Brown sugar, maybe even a bit of that. Yeah, it has a nice, just like a hard caramel, almost like those chewy hard caramels that you could get, or even to some degree the bullseyes, the caramel and the vanilla, because I'm getting a little bit of vanilla. Maybe even a little bit of a sweet maraschino cherry, which is kind of odd, but it's there. Usually when, porters and stouts, I get dark fruits and I get cherry, it's usually black cherry. It's like a sweeter black cherry. This is more maraschino. It's a touch maybe of a slightly roasted, or more of a toasty quality, I would say, than roasted, which is, again, if I was doing this blind, I don't think I'd say porter, just from the look of it. I would say maybe again, wee heavy brown ale. There's almost a slight smokiness too. A tinge of a metallic hint too, which I usually get in milk stouts, so I don't think it's had lactose in it. Yeah, it smells, it's not super rich and decadent and over the top in terms of the caramel character. It just smells like a nice beer. And again, I'm not going to say porter, but a nice beer or a nice ale that has a decent kind of caramel feel to the nose. Anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. It's really light on the palate, everything. The body, the flavors. This is a very drinkable, like, beer that has some kind of slight candy qualities, but again, not over the top. Let's go body mouthfeel. Body's like a touch under medium, approaching medium. It's fine for 5.4%. The mouthfeel, it's nice, you know, in terms of like the carbonation. It has like a moderate carbonation. It's crisp on the palate. It's very smooth going down too. The taste, you get a omnipresent, like, again, caramel hard candy, bullseye kind of feel to it. It's caramel and vanilla for me, more so than anything. Maybe even like a slight butterscotch kind of approach to it. But that's omnipresent, right? It's never too big though. It's not like dominating the palate. It's just there all the time. Getting a little bit of like a toasted malt quality at the forefront, a little bit of like a toffee, maybe a touch like darker kind of chocolate, like a Hershey's dark chocolate where it's a little bit sweeter. Almost a brown bread too from the malt base. That's all at the forefront, passes through. All that kind of starts to dissipate, and I'm left with this nice, slightly lingering caramel flavor. Has a, I would say, like a mild earthiness bitterness, or mild earthy bitterness on the back of the palate. It's semi-dry. It's more dry than bitter. So if you don't like bitter beers, like this isn't overly bitter, but it has a pretty big dryness. It's like a little bit over semi-dry, almost approaching full. 5.4%. You can't tell. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going to be slightly biased here because this is a beer I have consumed numerous six-packs of over the years. I've had you know, a ton in my life of this and their Black Forest, which is a German black lager. Those two are, without question, the two beers from Saranac I've had the most in my life, and probably two of my favorite. Definitely the Black Forest is. This, maybe not as much of my favorite anymore. Even back, like the last time I had it, which was like probably 2017, 2018, I was starting to only like buy a bottle of it and have it, because I noticed that my palate was changing, and this is no longer something that I'm like, you know, go nuts over or anything. I never really did. This was always like a 4 out of 5, but I just like that back in, you know, 2011, 2012, you didn't have a lot of beers like this. Certainly not from breweries where you could pretty much buy them at the grocery store or anything, right? So I can't go too high on the rating here. You know, it's 5.4%. You can't taste the alcohol. It goes down really easily, and I enjoy it. So Caramel Porter, the 2022 release from Saranac. I have no issues giving this, you know what, I'm going to give this a straight on 3.75 out of 5. I think that's where it lands for me. Can't go much higher, won't go any lower. It's just a really solid caramel beer. Again, doing this blind, would I call this a porter? You know, looking at it, drinking it, I don't know if I'd say wee heavier Scotch. I might say like a low ABV Scotch ale, or maybe like a brown ale, or like an English brown ale, something like that. There's more bready, toasted kind of bread qualities than there is like, you know, a porter or stout vibe to it. Price point and availability. Availability, wherever you see Saranac, you should see this. This is like one of their big fall, winter seasonals. Again, it comes in 6-packs, and the price point here in the Western New York area is $9.99 a 6-pack, so a great deal there. So yeah, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. What's your favorite beer from Saranac? Is there any that I should try? Because again, I don't drink Saranac a ton anymore, but Saranac, much like Sam Adams, helped me kind of navigate the craft beer waters when I first started drinking craft beer. It was very easy to buy a variety pack from them, not break the bank, try out, you know, 4 to 6 different styles, and kind of be introduced to different styles. And again, there will always be a special place in my heart for Saranac and Sam Adams, and they can still brew solid beer. I think this is a solid beer. So yeah, not much more to say about it. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers. Oh yeah, catch me later on. Other half, another Western New York Wednesday, and hopefully it's delicious. Cheers.